Please read the disclaimer. Is XRP the next to do this? Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the year. We might see the first time that something's going to happen. You'll understand in just a second. Plus, we'll talk about the whole situation, the correlation between the precious metal markets to crypto and what we're seeing right now on Monday morning. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Let's get into it. Currently, XRP is sitting at $1.90. So XRP has risen about 2% almost here this morning. Bitcoin at 89,000. Very interestingly, after many days of being flat, we are seeing a rise here of about 2% for Bitcoin. And this is very interesting because we previously saw everything kind of stuck, all the money going into the precious metal market, right? Silver, gold. But this morning, we are seeing a very, very interesting action here on precious metal. Actually opened up the trading, you can see, with about a 5% pop, but then we saw it kind of acting like crypto, drop 10% in an hour, and then rise again 6-7%, and now fall back down to 75. And this is going to be very interesting to see what happens, because you remember we were talking about the potential of money flowing out of precious metal back into crypto as soon as precious metals might see its first sell-off, its first drop. We could potentially see people running for the hills and going to what is quote unquote right now more stable, which is crypto. Could be, right? We'll see. And this is going to be very interesting. Ethereum here back over 3,000. So it will be very interesting to see what happens here this morning. But, right, we always have to be careful with the gap, right? Never trust a Sunday pump because there's always the gap. Mind the gap, right? A small CME gap to fill between 87.8 and 88. So that might, play out there. Sorry, I forgot to shut off the WhatsApp sounds. I think it's my wife sending me messages. So it will be very interesting to see what happens here this morning from a price action point of view. Is the crypto market ready to wake up, right? It drank too much eggnog, maybe ate too much turkey and ham, and then now maybe it was eating too much latkes for Hanukkah, and now it's ready to come back. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. Listen, we have been in the fear zone for a very long time. Look, it's even 3 months out, maybe even we've been in this 20 to 30 range, right? The last time we were over 30 was back in November 3rd. So 2 months ago. So basically 2 months that the crypto fear and greed index has been in this low area. And we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But again, I don't trust a Monday morning move up because of the gaps, right? Because of that CME gap. And so we just have to take that into consideration. As always, I just want to remind you that these are only my opinions. This video is for educational, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. I just found like 4 or 5 new fake X profiles with my image. I have a new Facebook one, so I'm trying to combat all these fake profiles. If you see any fake profile, report it. The only official ones are the one in the description, my X profile, and we have the Telegram group that is free and open to everybody. If you still want to join, I'm going to be more active as we start the new year. I'm kind of slowed down everything these past few weeks, but new year, we're going to start cooking again. Also, if you are interested, our partner BTCC will give you the opportunity to trade the market. Maybe there's some interesting opportunities. If you're interested, link is in the description down below. You go to my website where you can find all of our affiliates. If you're interested, check one of them out. If you're signed up to one, you can try the other. See what's best for you, which one you like the most. If you do use my link, I will get a commission. It helps support the channel. It helps us keep the lights on. So link is in the description down below. I really appreciate you. And now back to the program. So it's interesting. We're only 3 days left. And this potentially will be the first post-halving year that is closed in the red, right? 6.24 required to make this a green candle. Now, maybe this happens, right? Maybe this happens. But it's actually, when you think about it, it's not that surprising that not that we're finishing in the red, right? But that this year was unique. If we look back and we look at the whole cycle, from the beginning, it didn't play out the way it was supposed to play out, right? We had a new all-time high for Bitcoin before halving, which would never happen before. Maybe that should have been the canary in the coal mine, right? To tell us that this wasn't the normal cycle, that we wouldn't see the crescendo, the banana zone at the same place, right? Although that October 6th is the is so far the highest point, not of the cycle. I think Bitcoin was a little bit higher, if I remember correctly, but it is no, it actually was the all-time high. It's so funny. And I was just looking at that. Yeah. And remember, that was the predicted date that we'd see the high, and then it sold off of that. So that's very, very interesting that that played out so far, right? And so will the markets kind of push crypto up in order to close green on the year? Could be. Is it another false flag? Could be. Okay, so we have to remember that if we go up a little bit, 4 or 5%, you might see other YouTubers, other influencers already with the titles calling for a altcoin season or a rally. But just remember to pour some cold water on that and call them out. Even it's okay. You can call me out on stuff that I do. But it's very, very important to remember that nobody knows what's going to happen. We've seen this many, many times that we thought, oh, the market's coming back, right? And then another false flag. And then, oh, it's coming back, right? So I want confirmation. I want us for Bitcoin to see back over 100,000. I want XRP over about here, this level, 225, somewhere around that, 2.5, for us to actually say, okay, we got out of this zone. I'd also want in the short term a breakout here of the downtrend, of course, at about 195. That could potentially happen. And I want to cross over on the 1348 EMA on the daily chart. That would also give me confirmation that we're probably going to be going into a recovery, an uptrend. But we haven't seen that yet. Okay, so we'll have to see how the next few days play out, how potentially we can look at the market and look at potentially what is going to happen in the next coming days. It will be very interesting to see what happens. Listen, the interest might be at its lowest point that it's been in a very long time. I saw, this is from Tyler here, says something interesting is happening on crypto YouTube right now. And maybe this can, this is an indicator to us what's happening. So, previously I told you that if you ever see my videos getting like 200,000 views suddenly, or 250,000 views, that might be, a sign that the market might be close to the top. But this is also the flip side, right? We're now at a situation where there's like really low interest. There are some specific channels that I don't know where they're getting their views from. Maybe this is just how the algo is and this is what's going on. But for the most part, all like older crypto channels that maybe haven't been talking about one specific subject. Like I know one channel that I know is just XRP from the beginning, XRP. So they're doing okay. I think it's a Crypto Sensei that is still getting like a lot of views I'm seeing. And there's another doctor. She's also new, right? I forgot her name, Camila. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. That she's also suddenly, right, getting lots of views, and she's, she speaks nice, so I get why she's getting lots of views. But for the outside of that, it's like in the pooper, right? And you can see here over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've seen YouTube views drop dramatically. Creators who were previously getting 100,000 views are now getting closer to 30,000. Creators that were getting 20,000 are now struggling to hit 8,000. And I'm kind of in that secondary area where I was getting like 25,000, 30,000 views, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. And now we were getting like 17, 20, and now we're getting closer to 8, maybe 8 to 15, right? This has been a constant trend. Retail investors as a whole are watching less crypto content on YouTube. What is interesting though is that while total views are dropping, click-through rates are actually increasing. If you do not know what click-through rate is, it's simply the percentage of people who see the video and actually click on it. This sounds counterintuitive. How can views be down while click-through rate is up? The answer is simple. Fewer people care overall, so fewer people are searching for or being shown crypto content. But the people who are still here are more engaged, and that's you, by the way. They are clicking more, watching more, and learning more. The casual retail audience is leaving, but the committed audience remains. Historically, the people who stay during periods like this are the veterans, the ones who have lived through previous cycles, drawdowns, and boredom phases. When those veterans start increasing their research, watching more content, and paying closer attention, it often a sign that the market is moving toward a better position, sometimes even toward a bottom. So, this could potentially mean that what we're seeing now is that we might be, if 200,000, 250 is we might be close to the top. This might be a signal that we're now close to the bottom, because when there's very, very, very low interest in something and something is so quote unquote undervalued to, let's say, precious metals in the stock market and all that, it can flip very, very fast, right? And so I don't know when it's going to happen, but these are signals that are telling me that I have been doing this for the past 5 years. This is one of the signals that tells me when we have these like 1 or 2, 3 months that we're seeing this slow decline, it usually comes into a recovery. Doesn't mean that that's going to happen again. I'm not a prophet. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but this is a very interesting scenario. By the way, thanks to you to continuing to support, even when the casuals are not interested, through the holidays and through everything. And I know it's not easy, especially those of you who have kids. So, hand in my heart, I really appreciate you guys. And thank you for all the support and continuing to watch, even if it's not the easiest thing to do. Okay. Now, I wanted to talk about this. This is a very interesting situation. There has been a lot of talk, and maybe you could call it FUD, you can call it, true reason, around the potential of quantum computing and the cryptography being broked around the crypto market. So, if you don't know, the quantum computers are getting better and better and better. And the fear is that in a very short period of time, they could break the cryptography, right, on the blockchain, right? And especially Bitcoin, right, which is using SHA-256. And it's complex, but if the computers are able to process and are able to create all the combinations, right, in a very fast period of time, then potentially it could be broken. And there's been talk that XRPL leads in quantum resistant security. XRP Ledger is pioneering quantum resistant transactions using dilithium cryptography, positioning the network at the forefront of blockchain security, right? And so this is very, very interesting. When we look at this and we look at the potential of what could happen, one of the FUDs, and it could be around what's happening in the next 4 or 5 years, could be around this quantum resistance. How quantum resistant is your blockchain? And I think it's important that XRPL is at the forefront of this. It helps, right, that Ripple has a lot of money to invest in this, right? So if you have, let's say, a chain that is maybe community based or doesn't have a big backer behind it, then they probably won't have the funds to invest in the research into the development behind this. So it's very, very interesting to see how much Ripple is going to actually invest in the stability of the chain, in the quantum resistant part of the chain going forward in the next 15 to 5 to 10 years, because that's, I think, when we're going to start seeing these leaps. We're already seeing these leaps in AI, but we're being told that quantum computing is getting better and better. We're not there yet, but it could be in a year, it could be in 3 years, 5 years that we're going to get that big headline, and quantum computing is caught up. The crypto community is doing things to create a more complex, or maybe having a encapsulation of Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is the one that most people are afraid of because it's the most known. They're thinking about how they can do a workaround in order to encapsulate it in a way that would still, be quantum resistance, even if it's able to break the initial SHA-256, SHA-256, right? We call it SHA. People that have learned cryptography. That's actually, I did a course back in the day in 2013, I think, and it was about cryptography. And that's when I first heard about Bitcoin, was in that course in university, and our professor was talking about Bitcoin and how it was using these higher level cryptography protocols. And I wish I would have. I think Bitcoin was around $100 back then, and everybody was like, "Wow, I can't believe it got to $100." Back in the day. So it will be very interesting. I was a broke college student back then, university student, so I wasn't able to buy a bag back then. It will be very interesting to see what happens with the crypto markets this week. Very, very interesting. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Are we going to see the market finally recover into the new year? Right, started off nice, finished the year in the green, Bitcoin finishing in the green, or are we going to have another false flag, another nothing burger, and the market is going to continue to sell off, and we're going back to Bitcoin to 50,000 and XRP to $1? What do you think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to check out the links to my website if you are interested. Again, those are affiliate links there, so it really helps out the channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.